Hey, welcome to Live at Epiphan. It is, I guess, just after Christmas, and I hope everyone had a great time with family, friends, and whoever you choose to celebrate with. I'm joined by a special guest, Dan Wallace, come back to help us with this really important episode near the end of the year.
Yes.
And to cap off, I guess, what we did last year.
Yes.
Sort of
It's great to be back, and it's great to celebrate the holidays with you, George. I missed you.
Yeah, well,
I missed you so much that I grew a beard also.
You got a ways to go.
Just
Mine's
so that
still
I can
growing.
try to live up to
Yeah,
everything that
yeah.
you've achieved.
Yeah, so we wanted to go through some previous predictions to see how terribly wrong
Yeah.
we were last
Seems
year.
like a long time ago now.
And then also look at predictions for 2019.
All
So
right.
we got a bunch of those there. We're gonna
This is
go through
exciting.
those.
This is like Wayne's World.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, and so. Yeah, I guess we'll see what some of these predictions are. We threw them in the
Okay.
bin. We're going to draw those, but we wanted to go through our old ones, and we'll get to those. Yeah, so we'll hopefully find some great things. I'm super curious, and I guess now we're kind of now that you're doing something else, we're kind of
Yes.
viewing these things from different angles.
Yes.
So I think there could be some.
No, there might be
interesting-
some interesting perspective,
yeah, some
for
good
sure.
stuff in here.
Yes.
So maybe should we start with going back in time?
Let's do it. Let's fly back in time.
Back in time and look at.
Cameras. Okay, I love cameras. So,
Who doesn't?
so you had an interesting prediction. Tell me your
Yeah.
prediction.
My bold prediction, and please don't hold me to this one, but my big bold prediction, in terms of how it relates to video, is the death of the DSLR, specifically mirrored cameras.
Right.
So that's a good prediction.
And
We run into this a lot. Mirrored cameras, the traditional SLR, DSLRs, they are not good for live video. I'm sorry. That's just the way it is. They just
All right,
don't.
should we dive into this one?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think this is
so-
a good one. So I think this, to a large part, it's maybe a little both, but I think it actually mostly came true because we saw through all the various different camera or in AV media shows through 2018 that no one was really launching new mirrored cameras. Everyone was launching new mirrorless
Yep.
cameras, very focused on video,
Yep.
and the capabilities are really increasing pretty rapidly within that space. So I don't know if I could say it was 100% true, because definitely DSLRs are still
I
popular
think, yeah,
buy.
there will always be a place for the DSLR,
Yeah.
but really the mirror is a legacy.
Exactly, and I think people, I'm sure a ton of our viewers got cameras under the Christmas tree this year. Like there's no question,
Yeah.
right? It's a super popular thing
Yeah.
to give. So maybe there's one thing we can ask you guys: who got a mirrored DSLR and who got a mirrorless camera? I mean, we shoot things. We use the Sony A6300 99% of the time now, partially due to its size, and the capabilities of it are still very powerful, and it's overall not going to be any more or less expensive than DSLR, but it's definitely more flexible when you add video into the mix.
Absolutely. And so many people, video is like, it's an expectation now when you buy
Absolutely.
a camera, We're not simply buying cameras for photo only.
Well, exactly.
You
The days
expect
of
dual purpose.
Having that DSLR and the traditional Handycam, those days are gone. Everyone
it's all
wants a
merged.
single device. Everyone's used to their phone being a single device. Cameras are going that way.
Another big thing is the screen technology on the cameras is so much better. You've got flip out screens, you've got OLED, you've got higher resolution screens on the cameras, which means looking through the viewfinder is really not as important as it used to be.
They actually reflect not, they actually reflect what you will see in the end.
Yeah.
It used to be when you look through the viewfinder, you're like, well,
Something
might
like
not
this.
be-
Yeah,
it might
roughly
be that.
this.
I'll figure it out in post.
Good framing.
And again, when you're taking pictures, you can look back immediately at that one frame, be like, oh, the exposure was changing a bit, and then retake the shot. You can't do that in video. You have to see it instantly. And so that's come a long way with these cameras. So I would be saying that prediction was true.
All right.
So let's jump on to the next
Good
one.
prediction, George.
Yeah, that was a good one. And I stand by my facts on that one.
All right, what's next?
Video encoding. Predictions for 2018.
I think H.265 might finally start to really gain some ground in 2018. There's a lot of things that are going to have to work together with that. But I think we're getting to the point where we have reached the limits of what the existing codecs can do, and we need something fresh, something new.
All right, let's jump into this. So you were
Okay.
predicting H.265 would start
Yeah,
to become a
really.
thing.
I failed miserably in this prediction. It really hasn't.
I was with you on that though. I thought H.265 was coming in hot.
Yeah, the adoption rate has been painfully slow, and really, we're a year later, and nothing has changed.
Yeah.
We're in exactly the same place we were a year ago, where the same platforms that were toying with it are still toying with it, but haven't advanced it. There's no additional encoders on the market. There's no new technology that's really offering this to the unwashed masses. It's still a very high level way to see things. I think the only place I see H.265 is if you want to torrent a Blu-ray movie these days, you're probably going to find it in H.265.
Like very large compressed video files.
But for live video, it's still on the horizon. It's still
It just
out
speaks
there.
to how, I guess, difficult it is to disrupt H.264. It's
I
so
think
ingrained.
Well, and I think we might have touched on it in some of the shows last year as well about what it actually takes to encode H.265. It requires a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
It's no joke.
And decode.
Yeah,
Right.
and one of the downsides, I think, is that, for our generation, we kind of grew up where the curve of technology growth was so exponential. But since about, I would say, the later 2000s into the 2010s, it's really leveled off. We're not seeing that same curve anymore. And so the CPU power we have today compared to 5 years ago is not exponentially different.
No.
And it needs to be for H.265 to be the thing.
So we continue to wait.
We continue to wait. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one, I think.
Okay, what's next?
All right, let's bring up this other prediction here. This was
Content delivery. So we have lots of stories from 2017 related to YouTube,
wearing the same shirt.
Twitch, Netflix, Amazon Prime, the majors.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen with the major content delivery networks?
I think that, as we kind of touched on a little bit before, I think that the ability for smaller content producers to make money on YouTube is going to continue to diminish in 2018.
That's true.
Which means they're going to start looking for newer platforms.
And they did.
Where that is, I'm not even sure I could predict that, but
So I think we can start
that we're
talking
gonna-
about this.
yeah.
So content delivery, we're saying YouTube is going, and it still
Yeah,
kind of
so
is.
The funny thing is that as a platform, it's actually still growing. But
Probably
the
in reach.
Yes, but the revenue that creators are getting from it is continuing to shrink.
The pie has not gotten larger
No.
with the expanded
Not at all.
reach of the platform.
We've continued to see this adpocalypse in terms of the share that creators are getting diminish more and more. That being said, YouTube did launch a bunch of new features because so many creators were going outside of YouTube with Patreon and other third-party funding methods.
Or putting ads directly in their videos,
Right.
which
Sponsorships
Yeah.
and whatever. Now YouTube has that feature where you can join the community for a monthly fee, basically building a Patreon-esque thing into the platform.
they're also kind of following in the footsteps of Twitch, where you can subscribe to a creator who you enjoy to support
Super
that
Chat
creator.
is becoming more and more popular for live streams. So yeah, there's new revenue streams there, but I think viewers aren't taking the bait on it because they're not used to it in the context of that platform.
Now, the prediction was that we'd see a new platform emerge. Have we? Like, really, I'd say Twitch has just continued to rise
Continue
and
to do their thing.
in
I mean,
its
it's growing.
popularity.
It's absolutely growing. More people know what Twitch is.
Yeah,
I'm not sure that the content has changed.
yeah.
You
But
know,
I'd say that there's more notoriety around some of the bigger
Absolutely.
creators on that platform, whether it's
Right.
Ninja or whether it's some of the
Exactly.
musicians on there. You see a lot of, sort of name brand.
But I also feel like that's been tied to specific content, right?
Yeah.
So you mentioned Ninja, probably one of the largest people on that platform. He is so directly tied to one particular game that even when he isn't playing that game, he's below average in terms of viewership.
Yeah.
And his sub counts have been diminishing as he plays that one particular game. Fortnite, for all you parents out there who haven't heard of it, I don't know
What's the
what rock-
Fortnite dance? I see all these
what's
kids doing it now.
whatever rock you're living under, Fortnite is a thing. He's so tied to that as a piece of content that without it, he's
just a guy.
He's just an average guy with average subs.
Yeah.
And
But isn't that the
so-
point, that average folks can
Yeah, I think
go
so.
onto a platform and
Don't
create?
get me wrong, he's still a multi-millionaire.
Yeah, no, he's doing all right.
But
But we still haven't seen the next YouTube, right?
no, I mean, we saw the rise of ASMR on Twitch.
Yeah.
For those who are into that, we're not going to play with that ever on this show. There's a prediction. But there's still no, major outside of gaming, no major shift in Twitch there. But we also haven't seen really any other platforms rise either.
Yeah.
We looked back 2017, 2018. We looked at things like, Vimeo. We did all these comparisons of all these platforms. Crickets,
Yeah.
basically. There's
Yeah.
not really much happening there.
Sometimes change takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's keep it moving.
The established players are established. What can you say? So, those are our 2018 revisits.
So we're going to dive into some 2000. I thought we had some pretty decent predictions there.
We did.
Yeah.
But, we only covered a few there. I would argue that we were maybe 50-50
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah.
If we go back and look at that full episode. All right, so let's dive in
Prediction
here.
for 2019.
Grab one.
Here we go.
Grab bag here.
Oh, we're on a timer.
Geez, a minute 30.
That's
Google
probably
timer.
a good thing.
All right, let's go. VR live streaming services will become more popular. In addition to regular seats, Ticketmaster will sell Oculus Rift experience to concerts and sporting events. That's a wild prediction.
Yeah,
What
it
do you
is a
think?
wild prediction. I think it's possible, and we've been hearing about this for a while. You know what I think it's going to be is you need to get greater headset adoption. And with the Oculus Go and some of the mobile, lower price point, high quality VR headsets, maybe we'll start to see some of this. Ultimately, there's still like that barrier to entry, and that's what's going to keep this from happening.
And as George and I discovered when we were in Sweden near the end in the fall, near the end of the summer, basically anyone named George shouldn't be involved in VR without being violently ill.
Oh, gosh.
So I think there's
It's not
also
for
still
everyone.
a barrier to those who can do it. Well, the funny thing is I've played with your PlayStation VR and was fine.
Yeah.
But in this racing sim VR rig that
Got it.
George and I both tried,
You got the motion sickness.
oh my God, I was dead for hours and hours.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
That is the big barrier, is the motion sickness. And they say, you know what it is that it will solve motion sickness? It's higher frame rates.
Right, but big companies like that, they're going to cheap out and buy the crap technology because they have to deploy it to thousands.
Yeah.
And they're going to cut every corner. So that one's a tricky one.
Wait and see. But the sports, buying a ticket to a sporting event for VR, that's a really good idea. And
for sure.
hopefully we do see it, because I think that'd
Hopefully.
be pretty cool. All right, next prediction. Companies will start to experiment with tech support and 360 cameras in Oculus. So they will send you a 360-degree camera instead of human tech support. You will walk around with the 360 cam, and remote tech support will see see
Interesting. As
So,
someone who works in support, that's an
yeah,
interesting
is that what you want,
prediction.
George? You
No,
want, you want to
no,
have to
actually,
go VR into other people's tech problems?
No, not really. No, remote access to things
Yeah.
can be a huge benefit. To
Yeah,
tech
that's
support.
see that to
That's
me
a
makes.
massive
I don't know about the VR tech support.
No,
I don't
I-
think anybody wants to experience
Listen,
tech support
I'm
in an
gonna be
immersive
honest.
way.
Tech support on the phone, or even more so in live chat, these are great tools for the traditional tech support person because we can put the phone on mute. We can walk away from live chat for 30 seconds and smash our head into the desk. Anytime you involve a visual medium into support, you are removing the ability for that support person to gather themselves
Yeah.
and readdress the questions that may or may not be great ones. So I'm not sure that you're going to get too many tech guys who are going to be super into that kind of
No,
a thing.
I don't think so. But
I think customers providing that media to support personnel is great, and that's good. And we do that now, whether it's short video clips, screenshots, camera shots, or
yeah,
whatever.
the more information your tech
it's
support
always,
has,
always
the more
better.
capable they are of helping you, right?
Exactly.
Your turn.
All right.
Next prediction.
Let's see. Ooh, this one I think is going to be this is a good one that I think will be true. Multi-streaming will be bigger. Why not? And so that
So
we've
you're
done a
predicting
number of shows.
you're predicting multi-streaming will continue to grow.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think that's very true. We've done a number of shows towards the end of 2018 talking and doing a lot
Yeah.
of our own multi-streaming.
Yeah, I've been keeping tabs on that with
yeah.
some of the support that there is on Webcaster now for multi-streaming. That's
yeah,
really cool.
And the people who are doing it, because they're able to reach so much larger of an audience in so many different pockets. Like Cameron and I did a show, a couple weeks ago where we were talking about just Periscope and YouTube and Facebook, and we were doing all three at the same time. Those are three different audiences, three different customer bases you're trying to reach, and the only way to do it is with multi-streaming.
Absolutely.
And so I think, yes, we'll continue to see that grow. My hope is that we'll also continue to see the costs of that come down, because the providers who do this service, they're not always cheap. Sometimes they're a little more expensive depending on the features you want. I'm hoping that we'll start to see those costs come down. A lot of these guys, let's be honest, they're hosting it at Amazon.
Yeah.
So hopefully, as these things grow and mature, we'll see the costs come down and be a little more realistic for the average.
Well, it's great from a content creator perspective. It's great to be able to push your content to multiple audiences, right?
Sure.
So there's a lot of room for some advancement in multi-streaming for sure.
All right, here up.
Okay, next up.
Grab one of these guys.
Here we go.
Oh, the timer's going off.
Scripted live video will take off. Like theater, it will be an exciting version of a sitcom with real energy. Society will be pulling back from screen time and becoming more aware of the harm caused by being too connected, and only quality content will survive.
You know what? This sounds like a completely insane one, but I actually don't think it is that crazy. Even today, there are a lot of content creators on YouTube who are still managing to make it. And whether it's and some of them are on Twitch too, whether it's the Yogscast guys, which, they're primarily gaming content, whether it's, who are those other guys? I can't even think of their name right now, but they've been getting a lot of popularity in mainstream media as well. But they do these variety shows, and they are extremely popular. And I think seeing more and more of that go to live, be a little more scripted, but hour-long variety shows that we used to see back in
sure, why not?
In the heyday of television. I think
you look at late night TV, whether it's your Conan O'Brien's or your
they're getting
Jimmy
their
Kimmel's.
viewers on YouTube after the fact. They're not
Totally. So they should be doing their show live on YouTube in the first place, in my opinion.
You just need to find the right advertising revenue.
Yeah. It's only a matter of time. Okay, let's keep things moving here.
Sure,
look, we were faster than we needed to be.
Yeah, perfect. Good timing. Well, this is a long one too. Inline advertising in live videos, commercial breaks, or ads into the video, product placements, and so on. Creators who invest both financial and creative resources into each episode and each piece they publish will stand out. I think that that's a very good prediction. I think it's already happening. So to bring up Twitch again, as a creator on Twitch, you can choose when to insert ads. They break it up between whether you're a subscriber and not, and typically subscribers don't see those ads.
Gotcha.
Non-subscribers, people who aren't willing to pay, are going to see those ads. But the creator has the control of when to trigger that. They have a button in their dashboard. They go just hammer it, and some people abuse it. But I think, we'll start to see more and more of that. I suspect we'll see YouTube start to introduce a similar system.
So really, a lot of that is on the platform side, right?
It is,
YouTube has to have some kind of integration to be able to run an ad during a live broadcast, right?
And they do to a degree now, but I think they need to improve that. I think the way Twitch has done it, you
have to be like a partner to do that, right?
I think it's a little too abusable on Twitch, but they've made it really easy where you can just pound that button.
But if you abuse your ad button, your viewers are going to drop off, right?
Absolutely.
So it's that never-ending balance of
But again, that prediction was savvy creators doing it correctly, and so that's what it comes down to.
And now a message from our sponsors.
We don't have
sponsors. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one.
Yeah, let's get another one.
The lines between live video and video on demand will blur. We'll see more content that goes back and forth between live segments and pre-recorded bits. That's an interesting prediction.
No one would ever do pre-recorded bits. Never.
Well, I mean, we're doing it right now, right? So I think that's a good... and when you have the kind of technology like what exists here at Epiphan, it's becoming easier and easier to mix your media, to use playback. I mean... Cam was just doing it for our predictions. It seems to work quite well. So as the barriers of technology come down,
I think it becomes more difficult when you try and do it as a one-man show. But I think when you have the right tools in place and you have maybe a little help with a producer behind the scenes to be able to help trigger that stuff, just like traditional television, it becomes seamless. And I think that's important. You know, I think a lot of companies are going to start mixing for product launches and things
Oh,
like
product
that.
launches is
They'll
exactly
start
what I was
mixing
thinking of, right?
that stuff, and it's going to blur, and no one's really going to care that there's a 10-minute clip of pre-recorded out of a 30-minute
Yeah.
product launch. So, yeah. All right, let's dive in here. Another one. Next one here. All right. Browser-based graphics text tools will get more popular and integrated into live streaming software. Can you imagine
I would love
a
that.
native YouTube overlay tool?
That would be super cool. I mean, what do you think? I don't know. Do you see it happening, though? That seems
It is.
complicated.
It's happening now. The question is, it's a matter of ease of use and to a degree cost. You know, I can't really give any specifics, but, you know, Epiphan is talking to some of these companies right now to figure out how we can integrate some of these things into existing products. You know, we spent November, our Shark Month, talking about StreamShark as a platform.
Yeah.
They already have the ability through their portal to bring in web page-based assets into their stuff. So there's lots of ways of doing it now. It's a question of how popular would it be, and if you can do that, it could be as simple as bringing in a web page, whatever that page is, and overlaying it as part of your content, and that makes it really simple. It means you don't have to have these super fancy production tools.
Yeah.
You just have to be able to build a web page and pull it in, right? And that can be a no-brainer for a lot of people.
There you go. I mean, when you have video and text and photo, when you start mixing
enhances.
media,
Yeah.
it enhances everything, right?
sure.
So that would be a cool thing to see come to fruition. Next up, RTMPS will rule. Get ready. You'll need equipment that streams via RTMPS.
Good news is
Now, I don't know what this is yet, but I'm going to guess. The S stands for secure.
it does, indeed.
Okay.
The good news is the Pearl family of products can already do this.
Oh, awesome.
So with our firmware release a little bit late in the fall with 4.6 firmware, we added that along with another bunch of security enhancements. Facebook has claimed that by some point in 2019, all live streams to Facebook will require RTMPS. Now, they might be saying that, as everyone's well aware, in 2018, Facebook didn't have the best time when it came to security and people asking questions. So I think they're trying to leapfrog and get ahead of things. And so RTMPS is, yes, it's secure, encrypted.
Isn't it also
RTMP.
kind of the key to perhaps some of the bigger players getting involved in the live streaming platforms? If they can't make their signal secure, like for example, let's say the UFC wanted to stream their fights on Facebook. Not that that would ever happen, but perhaps.
They need to secure it.
They need to be able to secure their stream if they're going to allow that kind of high premium paid content.
For sure. Even within enterprise internal networks, RTMPS is becoming a requirement for security reasons. So, yeah, I think that one is a really great prediction.
That'll be a good thing. Whose turn is it? Mine? Yours?
My turn. I'll grab this one right off the top here. This comes back to some of the things we were talking about earlier. Twitch will become known as a gateway platform for influencers before becoming a more popular on channels like YouTube. You know, this, you could almost say this was a 2017 prediction in a way, because most creators on Twitch do operate a YouTube channel and they just post condensed clips. I think that prediction, I don't know, because like we were saying earlier,
I just can't see the popular Twitch folks wanting to.
Right, they're trying to. The only advantage is if double dipping on the revenue is actually going to pay off on YouTube, and if the trend that we saw through 2018 continues with that apocalypse, I don't know if that's true.
Yeah.
Until YouTube can fix their algorithms, which are a disaster in 2018, I don't know. That's a tough one.
Yeah, I think the audiences are becoming more different now.
They are.
From the folks who are on YouTube to the folks who are on Twitch. They're looking for different things. They're looking for a different experience entirely. So.
But I also think the ball is in YouTube's court. If they can fix their algorithms, pay creators what they're looking for, then yes, that's very likely.
Now Twitch has really decided to partner with creators.
Yes.
Still haven't really seen that.
And YouTube used
to. At the very highest end, YouTube does that with the big.
And they used to do it at the lower end, but they started
folks.
eliminating those. And so again, it comes down to community fostering, I think, and so on.
All right, next up. IGTV will die. poor UX and content aggregation. Vertical video is different. So are we saying vertical video won't die?
Well, if we can't, as long as phones are.
Yeah. There's kind of two predictions here. We're kind of talking about IGTV, first of all. I mean, personally, I don't spend a whole lot of time on IGTV.
I think it's already dead.
Really?
I've tried. It's terrible.
Yeah. Now, is it still within the primary YouTube app? Or sorry, Instagram app?
It's still a blend. It
Okay.
hasn't really changed.
You don't need to download IGTV separately, do you?
You don't have to, but as a creator, you do.
Okay.
So if you want to put content out there, you basically have to. Honestly, I tried when I was doing that European 3-week trip in September. I tried to do short IGTV vlogs every day while I was on that trip, just as a thing to do to try and push myself and create some content. Half the time the uploads would fail and I'd have to retry multiple times. No one viewed a single one. I mean, I have a bunch of Instagram followers and I don't even
Maybe your content just sucks, George.
I don't even use Instagram. I literally only use IGTV, but not a single one of my Instagram followers watched any of those clips.
Yeah, I mean,
So-
it almost seems like IGTV is competing with the stories features that we see already.
I guarantee if I posted a still image to regular Instagram, all of my followers would have liked, commented, done all this other stuff. I post something IGTV video-wise every day for 2.5 weeks.
And crickets.
Nothing.
Now, vertical video, on the other hand, I think
We're over time.
is a prediction that's not going away. Vertical
true.
video
It's here to
it's here to stay, and it's gonna grow.
Rotate the phone, bro.
Cloud ingestion, combining multiple streams into one will be bigger. Cloud integration makes a lot of sense for any collaborative idea.
I think this is definitely true. We know that we talked about this maybe a couple months ago now in one of our news segments. They're coming out of TwitchCon. Twitch announced that they're going to be doing this up to 4
So we can like aggregate streams. So like you're streaming to your audience, Cam is streaming to his audience, I'm streaming to my audience, and then
you
we're
can
like
also aggregate
we
it.
combine forces into one mega stream where we're all interacting.
So what Twitch wants to do is have up to 4 creators come into a single 4-way split.
And you create like a party or something.
Exactly.
That's really
But
cool.
you could also, if someone doesn't want to watch the 4-way, they can just go to one individual.
Yeah, that's really neat. Now, I saw someone do this recently. Like a lot of the big tech channels on YouTube stream live on Friday afternoon or Friday evening. And someone kind of noticed this trend and decided to create a stream with like a bunch of monitors playing all of those other streams, just try to see if they could get those creators to acknowledge
Each other.
their stream. Anyway, it was really neat, and it ended up creating like a bunch of really funny interactions between all these big tech channels. So it's kind of like the crossover episode when you see like The Simpsons and Family Guy. You know, if you can combine streams and bring those audiences together,
and if people know there's a crossover, viewership goes up.
Yeah,
it does. That's just like fact.
Ninja and Drake, for instance, like something like that.
All right, got another one here. Speaking of. Twitch will never escape gaming. IRL be damned.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, that's I think that if we made that prediction a year ago, I would have been like, IRL is going to explode, and then I would have been wrong.
Yeah, I think IRL has continued to grow. Like, I see some pretty talented musicians on Twitch.
There is some great content there. They're still struggling with getting people to actually watch it and find it easily. And really emphasize that.
I think it's still just overall Twitch is still kind of marketed and positioned as like a subculture gamer type thing, right?
It is, and they
I
need
don't
to work
think,
on that.
But do they want to break out of that?
I think they do, because what we saw in 2018 was what used to be one lump of IRL as a classification of stream got broken into about 20 different pieces.
Subgroups,
Just chatting, all these other kind of subs of that would have been under one big umbrella before. I think that was an effort to try and help people filter down better.
You know, a big part of it is also just like the, I guess, funding and support of the creators. Like, truth be told, like, creating gaming-related content is cheap, super cheap.
It's cheap.
You don't have to pay anything to the game publishers to use the content.
You're doing content off of a game you bought anyways.
Yeah.
So the cost of the game is basically zero because you bought it for your own entertainment.
Yeah.
After that, it's
and you're getting relevance because of the game. Like if you're gaming on a big title.
You want to do the big variety show? You want to have 5 people? That's money.
Yeah,
so,
totally.
All right.
Our box is empty.
Is it?
Oh, there's one more. There's a bonus. Let's see what it is. You want to read it? I'll read it.
All right, go for it.
Production value for live video will go up. In 2018, we were excited just to have video that was live. Now we're not as willing to accept poor quality. The same holds true for other, same holds true for other mediums. See Google's recent Pixel ad.
Yeah.
Why do they promote no flash photography?
Yeah. No, and I think that's true. I think in 2018, we probably already saw a pretty big swing in the quality of content increase. People's awareness of the pieces, and we did a number of shows talking about this. Audio is key, lighting is key, having a decent camera, not just your crappy phone. As good as the Pixel is, and their ads about it, and the capabilities of some of these phones are fantastic, especially for low light things, where smartphones have come for low light photography from where they were 2 years ago is night and day. But in general, I think we're going to see the same. As people become more aware and consume content that's better, they see better examples, even just from photographs. They realize what is possible when you elevate the game. And when people bring it up to here, the next person's got to go here and here and here.
And when I see incredible devices like Pearl Mini becoming, that much more accessible to like a consumer level market, so that sort of prosumer level of production, I think we're just, of course, going to see the quality of content continue to grow.
For sure, for sure. Now the box really is empty. And so that was our predictions, guys.
That was fun.
Yeah, so that's a number of predictions. Maybe some aren't as risky as the ones from last year, but we learned our lesson to not be wrong. We're probably wrong on a thing, but we'll see. We'll come back in a year. Hopefully, you'll come back and join us in a year.
I would love to come back and visit once again.
We'll see where we're at after 2019, which, at the end of the day, the final prediction is 2019 should be an interesting year for a lot of things, from live video, platforms, and I think just the world as a whole. Things are crazy, and, we'll see where it goes, and I can't wait to see. And hopefully everyone had a wonderful holidays and had live streams of their kids tearing into presents.
It's a really good idea for a live stream, by the way.
Yeah, so steal that idea for next year. There's my prediction. 2019 Christmas trend will be everyone live streaming their kids ripping into whatever the hot toy is. I don't even know what kids play
Do kids play with toys anymore?
I don't know. I was a Lego kid. I don't know. Is there anything else?
Oh, man, Lego, yeah.
Anyway.
Lego was the one gift that you always knew what it was before you opened it.
Yep.
And the old shake test.
Shake.
Is it Lego? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of fun, and thanks for having me back, George. It was great to see you guys.
Yeah.
And to everyone watching, hope you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and a wonderful 2019.
And we will see you in 2019. Thanks.
See ya.